Okay, so welcome everyone to this episode Study on Spotlight. I'm Regan from DADI Education. Today I am at Niagara Christian College and we have...
Steve Lachlan.
Amazing. Steve, do you mind sharing about your position? How long you been at the school for?
Sure, yeah. So I've been at NCC for 5 years, teaching history, teaching English. I coach basketball. I coach the cross-country running team as well. So yeah, those are kind of some of the things I do around here.
Amazing. I mean, one thing I'm pretty sure a lot of people might think about, especially from overseas, is where is the school?
Yeah, so we're in just outside of Fort Erie, or some people overseas would be more familiar with Niagara Falls. We're 20 minutes from Niagara Falls in the Niagara region. It's south of Toronto. And yeah, a little more quieter pace of life down here, but that has some advantages as well.
Amazing. I mean, you did mention advantages. So for students as well, what do you think the advantages are then?
Yeah, I think for students, maybe being away from some of the distractions of the big city, they can focus on their academics. So that's might be seen as a negative to some, where you don't have the same access to Toronto. But in a way, it's sort of positive because you're here to focus on your studies, and that's what you focus on. And then we're close to nature, so we're right next to the Niagara River. It's a beautiful campus, and there's trail that runs up down the river, so you can bike, you can hike, and then there's access to other nature areas not too far away as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking about the community and maybe the lifestyle? You did mention it's close to nature. It's like, unlike Toronto, it's a bit busier, but maybe a little bit more about like what's it really like living here, maybe for a student as well.
Yeah. So before living here, I actually taught overseas for a number of years. I lived in Macau for 9 years. And so I'm a little bit familiar with Hong Kong, Macau, and much more urban. So here, there's no tall buildings. Everything's kind of green, and you can get outside. And just on campus, I feel like it generates the goal, we talk about a family style atmosphere. And so hopefully you come here and your fellow students and the community here becomes kind of like a family on campus. And that's sort of what we try to foster.
Amazing. So you've lived in Macau so you were a teacher in Macau as well?
I was teaching over there at International School of Macau.
Amazing. Yeah. Do you mind sharing, now that you're a teacher here as well, you've been teaching in Macau, there is culturally is very different, and the way they look at academics is also very different. In terms of teaching students and the teaching styles, do you mind sharing a bit what's the difference?
Yeah, I think one of the differences in teaching styles in the Western education that we have here is more developing critical thought, questioning, developing your own thinking, your own arguments, more than just memorizing facts and regurgitating information. It's, do you understand what you're learning, and can you think about it? Can you question? Can you discuss those types of skills?
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I suppose you've taught international students here as well.
Yeah.
What's one common thing you think that a lot of students coming from overseas might struggle with? Is the language? Is it academics? Or is it just settling in general?
Yeah, that's a good question. Language is something that for students who are learning English and trying to take academic courses in English as a language of instruction can be a challenge. So we do have ESL supports here for students, trying to get them kind of into the mainstream program as soon as possible. I think one of the real positives is the international community we have. We have students here from many different nationalities, ethnicities, and I think that is an opportunity for growth in terms of broadening your horizons, the types of people that you interact with, and seeing other ways of thinking about the world.
Amazing. Yeah. And also with the location of the school, I suppose there's a lot of outdoor activities involved as well as part of the education?
Yeah, so we do try to get outside. I coach cross country, so we're able to run some trails near the school, and then nearby some local parks and some beautiful areas. Some students enjoy biking. We have a few bikes on campus that students can use. And there's a bike trail that just runs up the Niagara River. We had one student a couple years ago who was taking martial arts classes in town, and he would bike down into Fort Erie and do his classes and then bike back. It's about maybe a 20-minute bike ride into the town.
Amazing. Yeah. And you guys are actually very close to the US border as well. So does the school have any activities where they can cross, or is there anything involved going to the US actually?
So I think historically we did some cross-border activities, less so now because we do have such a diverse international student population, and getting visas can be challenging. So if you're trying to take a group of students down and only some of them can get visas, it becomes prohibitive. So we haven't done a lot of cross-border trips in recent years. I know some students have crossed the border and done things in Buffalo. students are able to sign out with parent permission on the weekends.
Okay.
One student last year, I think, tried to get over to a Buffalo Bills game. So that was
just for games.
Just for a game, just for their own kind of personal, weekend experience. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. Of course, that makes sense because students do. I mean, parents would worry about, if they would go around being so close.
For sure. So if students do want to leave campus, it's always done with parent permission, and we make sure that parents are aware where their students are and that their students are taken care of.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you mind describing about a typical daily schedule for a student if they live in the campus as well?
Sure. We have breakfast is served, I think, starting at 7:30. Students in the younger grades need to check in with kind of a dorm parent who makes sure that they're up and they're having breakfast. Older students in grade 11 and 12 are more free to come for breakfast or not. They're more independent, so we kind of trust them with that responsibility. School starts at 8:30. Classes start at 8:30. There's 2 classes in the morning. We have lunch at 11:15 to noon. All the meals are cooked meals, 3 meals a day in the cafeteria. School classes end at 2:30, and after classes end, so 2 classes in the afternoon, and then we have extracurricular activities after that. So if students are part of a team, there'll be practices happening and different things going on after school. And then free time as well for students until supper, which is generally served at 6 p.m., I believe. And then in the evening, study hall. Again, the older grades are able to study in their own dorm rooms, and the younger grades come to a common area and do study hall together.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's kind of a typical day.
Yeah. I mean, you did mention that this school is around 20 minutes from Niagara Falls.
Yep.
What about, besides Niagara Falls, is there other shopping centers or any other things going on around within the school?
The dorm will organize shopping trips, take students to either Walmart to pick up snacks or supplies and things that they need. There's also a mall nearby called the Penn Center, which is a large shopping mall with all kinds of stores, and so they'll organize trips to the mall for students to go shopping and get off campus as well.
Amazing. I mean, I'd like to move on to talking about maybe comparing cities as well.
Sure.
Because Fort Erie or Niagara, and then people think of Toronto as well. What do you think are the main differences, or if there's any advantages in general why people should come over here instead of studying at Toronto?
Yeah, I think the big thing is you're away from the hectic hustle bustle, big crowds. It's just quieter. It's less distractions, less to take you away from your academics. But still access to, local communities. There's things to do in Niagara Falls. There's things to do in Fort Erie. It's not Toronto, so you're not getting that big city feel. So it's not for everyone, but for the people who it's for, it's a real great place to be. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because some parents might worry about that, the area is remote, it's not in Toronto or in the big cities.
Sure.
They might think that, does that mean there's going to be a lot dangerous, a lot quieter as well? Will my child be, bored and there's nothing for them to do?
Yeah.
So these are like the things that they have a lot of concerns on always at the same time as well.
Yeah, I think, we try to have a dorm program that is going to run activities on the weekend where students will have things to do. Students are also able to sign out on the weekends and travel on their own up to Niagara Falls or into town to do different things. So we do try to run a program where students have opportunities and activities so that they won't be bored.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, besides boarding, does the school offer homestay as well?
At this time, I don't think homestay is a big part of what we're doing. There was a time previously where the school did run homestay programs for students staying with families. I'm not sure if that is currently an option, but I think right now it's mainly the boarding program. That's
sure. In your opinion, what do you think, like international students, let's say there is a choice between homestay and boarding, what do you think, how should students choose, or is there any one that's more beneficial to an international student?
Yeah, I think the boarding community does offer something that a homestay doesn't, where you're in a community with a lot of other students, and there's that gives opportunities for things to do in the evening. Playing sports, one of the big things that we'll have here is the gym will be open in the evenings, so we'll see a lot of kids coming out playing badminton, playing basketball, that kind of extracurricular life that can happen when you're living in a community is one of I see as an advantage of a boarding program where you're. And at the same time, you're also learning skills and independence that maybe you're not, where someone's looking after you, doing your laundry, cooking for you, or you're having to do your own laundry, you're having to keep your own room clean. I think that really develops students in terms of their independence as they step from high school into university. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Academically as well, because you teach students, domestic students and also international students.
Yep.
When you teach international students, do you think that there's a difference in terms of the way they learn compared with domestic students? Because maybe from their original homeland, the way they learn is very different. And how does the school, or maybe yourself, your teaching style kind of changes to adjust to that?
Sure. I think culturally there are different standards when it comes to academics and what students expect. I think one of the challenges for international students that is a area of growth for them as they come in is that kind of out of the box thinking, sort of asking questions, being critical, and you're not just learning the material, but you're trying to dig into it, and you're not memorizing facts, but you're discussing bigger issues, and you're trying to work with the facts. What do they mean? And I think the diversity of our student population, where we have students from different cultures, is also a benefit. If you're discussing world issues, or you're discussing politics, or you're discussing history, you can see students coming from different contexts, but often the issues that we face as communities in the world have parallels. And to see those students kind of learning about areas that are outside of their context from people who are coming from those places, has been just a blessing to everyone in the class, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about the comparisons as well, when we meet students, especially from maybe Hong Kong or China, they always talk about, they care so much about the academic side, like the school rankings, is the students going to get high achieving academic results.
Yep.
But from the school's perspective, they always, besides the academic part, they talk a lot more about, how much they take care of the children, and also the extracurricular as well, which maybe from a lot of parents who never studied overseas, they think that these are all distractions. It doesn't really help a child. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do these extracurriculars and highlighting the well-being of students does benefit a student's, overall education experience, or why does the school always mention that side as well, besides the academic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we want to see students as whole people, right? That they're not just brains on a stick, right? And so the relationships matter, friendships matter, physical health matters. And by having all of those areas as part of our program, hopefully we're serving the whole student, and that can only provide a context for high performance academically as well. Yeah.
I mean, from your years of experience in teaching, what's one big change you see in international students after they graduate, or maybe just studying a year or two at NCC?
I think it's a good stepping stone. Students who are wanting to come over to Canada for university, to be able to come and spend a year or two at the high school level, start to become acculturated, and to get a sense of what life is like in Canada or overseas, before taking that step into university, when everything's going to be, the stakes are going to be higher. I think it's a good stepping stone and can really be an advantage. I've seen students going forward to thrive in university, and some of the foundations have been laid by their experience at an international school.
Amazing. Yeah. Do you have any stories of maybe students or maybe a time at the school that you want to share with everyone?
Yeah, I can think of one particular student who really took advantage of their time here and got involved in club basketball off campus. And we worked hard as a community to ensure that she was able to access those programs, and be transported to those practices. And I think that she was a Hong Kong student, and she loved basketball. And she was able to play for our team, but then in addition to that, play for a club team. And that club team allowed her to make friends or connect with, Canadian local students in a way that was challenging at times for her, but I think also helped to really grow her as a person. And so that's one kind of really positive experience, where someone came here and got involved locally, and then she now goes to university in the region and is doing well.
Amazing. So for that student, did they initially come in not wanting to try basketball, never thought about it
No,
until
I think
they
they
got
were
here?
a basketball player,
okay.
and they were happy to sort of be a part of our team, but then they were looking for additional challenges and opportunities to play, and so we really tried to support them in that while they were here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because I'm surprised because, a lot of parents, they always think that, like I said before, the extracurriculars will be a distraction as well. But I think from the school's perspective is them actually joining the team actually help them progressing further into university, right?
Yeah, this was a strong academic student as well, and she was able to balance the academics and the sports, and I think, in a way that was positive for both of those sides of her development. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And one final question for me is, what's one thing you really like about the school, or maybe why you chose to join this school?
I like the close-knit community here. There's a real sense of family and a real sense of support, right, among faculty, staff, beyond just the faculty. We have our teaching staff, we have our administration, we have our cooking team in the kitchen, we have the cleaning staff and the dorm staff, and there's and the students, and there's a real sense that we're all kind of pursuing something together, and that's been a great part of working here and being a part of the school.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time today, Steve.
Yeah.
So to the audience as well, if there's any questions about NCC, feel free to reach out to them directly or at us, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.
Good stuff. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.